It's everything to me because you only get one.
Okay.
Health and wellness is of the utmost to me now. As obviously as we all age, we need to treat our bodies much better. And I wish I would have had that frame of mind when I was younger. And I agree with how they used to say youth is wasted on the young, because you don't think about that kind of stuff when you're young. But my body is everything, and I try to use it as a well-oiled machine. I make sure I drink my water. I make sure I nourish it with what's needed for it to function at its most optimal level. So it's everything. And so I treat it as a sacred temple. Make sure what I put in it is good and nourishing.
How do you value your body, Dana?
Don't laugh like that and then come to me.
I just heard something in that answer.
No, that's fine. But I don't think I've ever valued my body. If I can be very, very, very honest with you, I have always had body issues from the time I hit puberty to now. I'm 38 years old. I've always had body image issues.
Okay.
And so I don't value my body. I value the quality of my body and the things that, like the longevity of my body. So I value the things I put into my body so that it can last. But my body image, I don't value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yana, what you think? How much is your body worth to you?
I feel like you keep rephrasing the question.
Mm-hmm.
But my body is priceless. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Period.
Okay. Well, I understand that.
You hear what you're saying out loud, bro?
Can you think of a number of men that you gave your body to that didn't deserve it?
Yes.
Oh, they can't hear you nodding.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's go around the room.
Are we putting the number?
No, not number.
Top of my head. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
Tell me the number. I'm interested.
No, I'm not gonna set myself up. You said yes or no. Yes or no.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And look, this is what's crazy to me. This is what I don't understand as well. Bless me. This is what I don't understand. If y'all feel so liberated, right? If you feel so liberated, if you're a liberated woman, right? You should be able to do what you want freely with your body. Why is it such an issue when you're asked what's your body count? Why is that such an issue? Because for those people who don't care, the people who don't have an issue, they'll tell you right out, oh, well, I got more than XYZ bodies. I ran the numbers up. So why is it that you want to try to be secretive on one end, because you know the value that it holds to not have a high body count? You know the value it holds. So therefore, that's why you try to play this game with a lot of men when they ask you what's your body count, because you don't want people to deem you as a 304. And so that's exactly what happens. So a lot of y'all who got more than 7, 8, 9, 10 bodies, you're going to see and say, well, I don't want to answer that. I don't think that's appropriate. I think men are insecure when they ask that question. It's simply because you know internally that you have given your body to multiple men that you know you shouldn't have given to. Now it's an issue now. Then you know. So deep down inside, you know that you ain't supposed to be doing it, but you're trying to convince yourself that you're a liberated, powerful, empowered woman. And you should be able to do whatever you want with your body. Am I off?
Smart. I like it. That's why you're always my favorite trainer on the team.
I appreciate that.
You're just crazy as hell. That's all. Sis, you said yes?
Yes.
Dana, you are you a yes with that?
Yeah, surely.
Tay?
Definitely.
Barry?
Yes.
Alex?
Absolutely.
Love.
Yes.
Would you guys say it was at the very least more than one?
Yes.
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 Y'all
Yes.
can just say yes. Okay. And then have you given your body to anyone that you regretted?
Yes.
No.
Damn.
No.
No, it was what it was kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not regret like you reflect on like I don't want to make it seem like a regret like in one way, but like maybe if you could take that back, you would type shit.
My answer is yes to that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I know regret can be that far, but you know what I mean? There's an in between there with that wasn't worth it. Why did I do it? That nigga don't want me, etc. I don't want him. Right?
Right.
Mhm.
Love
those
said,
things exist.
okay, y'all keep walking with me now. Stay, keep up. Love said something that was key.
Hi, Bella.
The Subaru Share the Love event is proud to donate.
I make sure I monitor what goes in my body. I would venture that dicks go inside of you.
Yes.
So you thinking about this, right? You thinking about this. You guys say your bodies are invaluable, right?
Right.
The value of them is you can't measure it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we just uncover the fact that there's bodies we regret, people we initially never slept with, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into our body is very important. You guys agree?
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
No.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question again. How much do you value your body?
I'll repeat what I said earlier. I value
Hold
a lot.
on, then don't go if it's the same thing.
Can I say something?
You're asking the
Hold
us
on.
to.
Here's what I'm at now. Here's
Right, 'cause
one thing
you
that I
asked
want to.
me, what is my
Hold on,
body
y'all.
worth?
Hold on. I know I asked you different questions, right?
Uh-oh,
But here's what the
uh-oh.
thing is: the other ladies are listening, are also answering, and it's okay if you subscribe to one of their answers. It's okay.
Right.
I asked a few different questions in a bunch of different ways just to understand, right?
Right.
Because a lot of times on the panel, one lady will start windmilling, everybody gonna windmill with her. So now let's not try to break down each other's answers. I think all y'all answered honestly initially.
You know, I can say shout out to DJ Ham, bro. Because DJ Ham, he's real surgical with the shit that he does. I'll be watching you, big dog. I'll be watching you, homie.
But have you thought about this though before? Your body is invaluable, right? You can't measure the value. That's what the majority of you guys said in some way, shape, or form. And then you gave it to people that seemingly didn't deserve it. So now if you answer that question again, considering those factors, considering health and all those other things, how much do you actually value your body? And here's the thing. You guys are brave enough to be up here. But there's plenty of women in the chat. It's going to be 8,000 people to watch this. And when you guys are answering, it ain't just you. You feel me? You answering for a lot of other people. You know, I usually say that, like, I represent all the women in the world.
Yeah.
But the truth is, who actually had this type of conversation before? Y'all haven't. Y'all thought we was going to talk about corny shit like body shaming. When niggas know they love ass with the dimples in it. And the kangaroo pouch is okay, especially if you had a kid. So niggas, I mean, come on. And then 70% of us overweight. 40% of us is obese too. So that's the pot calling the cut. We don't need to get in that corny shit.
That's
right?
fact.
What's that? What's the stat again?
Which one?
Either of those of y'all being overweight.
Yeah, 36% of men are overweight. Or excuse me, obese. Black men.
But hold up though. Yes, that is a fact. But also, do and please understand that there are more obese women out here than there are obese men. So that little thing that you just did there, I get it. Please understand there are more obese women out here than there are obese men. So just want to throw that out there.
Now, women's obesity rates are much higher.
Oh shit.
Well, that's not what you were speaking on, and that's not what I asked you to repeat.
Oh, but you don't want to hear that
So-
though. You don't want to hear that.
So, and now
You don't want to hear that though, but you wanted to hear it. But you wanted him to repeat the fact of what he just said in regards to men. So it's okay for him to speak on the men, but it ain't okay for him to speak on women. See what I'm talking? See what I'm saying, bro?
that we got all the stuff we're gonna consider,
Stop that.
and we reflect back.
Stop.
Because if you're that valuable, one body that you regret, you have to consider, you have to weight that. If you said your value was once quantified, you couldn't quantify it.
Yeah.
So if you answered again transparently, how much have you valued your body?
I don't think we've done a good job overall. Just say like that. I don't think so.
Yeah,
And I'm not pushing. I'm hope y'all understand. I ain't trying to push you in no corner, but let's be real for a second. You feel me?
But if you think about, if I'm answering exactly what you asked, what I think, I'm thinking of me right now.
No, all of it matters.
All the stuff that I used to do, I don't do that.
Nope, that's not how life actually works, right? So
It does.
everything you
learn
know.
the
So
value.
here's why. So hold on a second. Here's why it doesn't work like that, right? Because if you start drinking and working on your liver early, you understand that the liver gets corroded, right?
Yep.
Why? Because time and miles matter. Just like with knees, if you're overweight and you got your knees will become compromised because you've been carrying that weight for so long. So we can't now sit up here and say all that shit is obsolete now.
But at some point, if you fix it, if you start the diet, them knees is gonna be fine.
No. So here's what that see wear and tear, right? If you beat your car up and you start to not beat your car up, is the car still beat up from the point you stop beating it up?
But if you get it fixed, is it still beat up?
Come on, Mary. This is foolish. Here's the thing. I don't really want to do this part because it's unnecessary. We're wasting time. So if you beat a car up, right? If you put 1,000 miles on a car over the course of 20 days, that wear and tear is different than 1,000 miles over the course of 60 days, right?
Okay.
So time and miles matter to anything.
So you have to drive.
Right. Time matters, which gives people time to change.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure you find value in things now that you didn't before.
Okay, well, let me break it down to you from a different perspective. See, I like to talk about sports, right? So let me give it to you from this perspective. Say you're a high school student, you're a 5-star athlete, you got multiple offers out here on the table. All you got to do is make it through your senior career, and you end up getting injured. Now, we all know there are certain injuries that can hinder who you once were at one point before that injury. Now that you have this injury, you may not be the exact same. I'll give you another example. Derrick Rose was on the way to be one, and still is one of the top dogs in regards to point guards, but he still had so much room and so much time for him to become one of the greatest point guards to ever touch the basketball. But because of his 2 injuries, it hindered him. He didn't have the same value as he did before he got injured. He did not have the same value. Once he injured both of his knees, he no longer had that same value. You can say whatever you want. You can believe that you are valuable in that sense, but you yourself don't determine that. The outside world determines that. You can be confident. That's great. That's fine to make you feel good, to help you sleep at night. But you got to understand, when you operating in reality, when you operating in the world, that's how men look at you. That's how you will be perceived. Your value is not as high as you think it is. If you have multiple bodies, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and on so, you're not as valuable as you think you are. You can say you got the utmost confidence, you still that bitch, or whatever you want to say, whatever it is you want to say, but that don't adhere to reality. That's the facts of it. Just like football players, top dog athletes, but then once they get injured, it becomes an issue. I'll give you an example. Cheetah. Tyrone here, right? Tyrone? Is this Tyrone? Cheetah. I'm just gonna call him Cheetah. Just got injured, just broke his leg this season. Do you think the value of who he is, do you think he's gonna be the same? Do you think he's gonna be the exact same if he comes back? Do you think he's gonna be the exact same that he was before he got injured? That should answer your question. Will he hold the same value, or will his value decrease?
That's with anybody.
Okay, so you can't answer because you're saying that all your past doesn't matter. So just sit out this question.
I'm saying that right now, today, I value it differently.
No, I'm saying your past doesn't matter because you're trying to dismiss it because you see things differently now. So just sit out this question for a second.
Are we ready for this party?
Guests are on their way and food and drinks were just delivered.
Now, what about the music?
So, Coach Tay, what you think?
So I get what you're saying in terms of like the damage is done. If that's the message I'm receiving, right?
That's a good understanding.
Like, essentially the damage is done. You can't fix what was done in the past. So considering that, I clearly don't value myself as much as I thought.
Correct.
But to Mary's point of like, changing or seeing the correction, I value it more now. I didn't then. I didn't more so then because of the things that I did to regret.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. All that stuff has to matter, right? Because what you want to think of it, Mary, is scars. You can always see them. You always know where they are. And you can remember the bike that you fell off when you got that scar.
Right.
And so you got scarred or PTSD, which is the reason why you may or may not approach things the same way. That's why the past matters.
Yep.
So everything that you accumulate with your body, how you've treated it, given that we regret some things that we experienced, how do you think you valued it?
I didn't value it.
Okay. How come? What make you say that? That's saying didn't, like not at all. Why is that?
Because I just didn't, to me, it just wasn't, things weren't like such a big deal. Like it wasn't, I was a very dismissive person. Like to me, it was just like, whatever. Like, didn't really care about much going on. Yeah.
Apathy is protective in a way, right? Because it's easier not to care.
Right.
Seemingly. Right. That's solid. That's solid. Okay. And that's why I was diving into, like, let's really look. We can give cliche answers all the time. Remember I had to tell y'all niggas y'all was average? Because for some reason I was walking around thinking y'all was 9s and 10s.
It says the 4. Yeah.
And I'm a 4, right? So if I, so I ain't afraid to be a 4.
I ain't afraid to be a 7.
You married, so you don't count.
Yeah.
You ain't a 4 and single.
You ain't, man, hold up. What you say?
You ain't a 4 and single. And a 4 and single.
I ain't afraid to be a 7.
You ain't afraid to be a 7. Who told you was a 7? Who told you was a 7? Who told you that?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Married, so you don't count. You ain't a 4 and single.
Touche. So, and my wife got me beat by a little bit, so I guess I'm doing better than.
Yeah, she brought up our average,
Yeah, she brought up the overall. So, Yana, how have you valued yourself?
I'll say then. I'll still say that I see my body as priceless. I may not have valued it as if it were priceless at a certain point in time, but I don't think that determines my worth.
Well, if you gave it,
I think y'all be getting. Here's the thing, y'all make these conversations so hard. You make these conversations so hard. That doesn't diminish my worth. Listen, it discounts your worth. It does. Regardless of the things that you've learned, regardless of how much you've grown mentally, regardless how much you've grown physically, whether you like it or not, it does. Now, again, there are some men who still say, listen, man, you got 10 plus body, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You matured out of the situation, you became a better person, and they'll take you on. There are men out here like that, right? But that still does not take away from the fact that there are men that will look at you a certain way. It's like, man, you talking about you better than all this shit. Listen, bro, you got a certain number of bodies that's over the number that it should be. No, I don't deem you the same, because the moment that I see or find somebody that is better, we're gonna go that way. Recreational use. Shout out to Cooley. But in all seriousness, though, I get it. You know, you feel as if you are worth more, and great. That's fine. Have that confidence. Have that in yourself. If you're actually building and you're actually growing and becoming a better person, that's phenomenal. But that still does not take away from your past. That still does not take away from your past. When it comes to the dating market, it don't. So you can miss me with all of that shit. Your decisions have an effect on your future. Simple as that.
To something or someone that didn't value it at all, right? But you gave it to them. You sold it to them. They bought it from you. Did that put a value on it?
No.
Well, think about this, right? If you get associated with something that costs $20, right? So let's say you got 2 toothpastes and there's all toothpaste on one row that are worth $7, right? But I put the wrong toothpaste on that row that's not worth $7, but also doesn't have a price tag. And it's been associated with $7 toothpaste since I went in that store. What am I going to assume the price is of that toothpaste?
I get what you're saying, like birds of the same feather flock together.
What am I going to consider the price? Well, first off, first question, what am I going to consider the price of that toothpaste to be?
You're going to consider it to be what everything else is, but
answer the fucking question first, then give the context. I hate when people do that. Just answer the question first and listen. Okay, I'm gonna give you the short answer, and then let me add the context on the back end. That's all you got to do. Answer the question first. Okay, well, yeah, it'll be $7. Simple. It'll be $7. Now let me add some context behind that. Okay, go ahead. But answer the question first. Don't dismiss it. Well, it'll be whatever it is that it was supposed to be. But no, answer the question straight. Yeah, it'll be $7. Okay, but let me give you the context.
$7, right?
Okay, then. I think we should just leave it at that. That's how I'm gonna just leave it at.
No, because it's important to answer and then you can add context. So it would be $7.
What you're saying. I get your point. Yeah,
but go ahead, break it down. Break it down.
What is there to break? I don't feel like there's anything to break down. I just because, you know, at a point in time I didn't value myself doesn't mean that my worth is I don't feel as though my body is priceless.
You hear what you're saying out loud, bro?
At that point in time, I just wasn't operating in that mindset. But you know, so
right. So isn't that the lesson to learn overall over time, since you can't go back in time? So what she's saying is she learned it, married to. So now you're putting the right amount of value on your body now because you learned.
You can't tell me that there isn't a woman. Well, I won't speak for every woman, but I know that there are some females out here who have laid down and done the do and been like in the middle of the do is like, I know I'm not worth this. Oh, I'm better than this. So just because I did it in the moment with somebody I know it wasn't worth it at all, and I knew I was gonna regret it right after. In that moment, I still felt like I'm the shit. But like it don't make sense. But in my head, we just gonna leave it at that.
Serious today, but that was crazy.
I'm not
that was
feeding.
crazy.
I'm not feeding. I'm not feeding.
This is the shit that I be talking about. This is the shit that I be talking about, bro. You just can't take accountability, can you? Just take the L. Here's the thing. Let's take it to an extreme so that way I can really draw this parallel. Say there's a guy, right? He decides to unalive a person. You know what I'm saying? He decides to unalive this person. In the midst of him doing whatever it is that he needs to do to get this person unalive, he thinks to his head, hey man, I know I'm better than this. I know I'm not this type of person. I know I'm not a person that unalives people for no reason. But I'm still that dude. I'm still a good guy. I'm still a great guy, man. I'm still a good human being. So the next person that encounters me should not fear me, or this next person should not look at me as that person because I did this in my past. Or I give you a better one. Say this guy is a rapist, correct? And he's graped a couple of people in his past. In the midst of him graping these individuals, he says, listen, I'm not this type of dude. I'm better than this. I know I'm a great guy. I know I'm a wonderful fucking guy. Any woman would be fucking lucky to have me. You know, I am the shit. I am that dude. While simultaneously graping these women. And I gave you the disclaimer saying that, listen, I'm going to give you an extreme so that way we can illustrate the points so you can understand how you're sounding right now. How I'm sounding is exactly how you're sounding, because you're going to think, well, that's crazy. It's not the same. It is the same. It's the same thought process. I'm just using a different, I'm using an extreme scenario to draw the conclusion, to draw illustrate a point. That's how crazy that sounds. Your decisions does have an effect on your worth. I don't care who you are. The decision that you decide to make, that's just like a person who decides to eat cheeseburgers every single fucking day. Don't exercise, don't go walking, don't do push-ups, don't do sit-ups, don't do squats, don't do nothing. They don't exercise. They just sit home, eat cheeseburgers all fucking day, and large French fries, and drink a Coke every single fucking day, and they get big than a motherfucker, and they still say, listen, bro, I'm still that dude though. I'm still that dude though. I know I ain't making the right decision, but I'm still that motherfucking dude though. But what does reality say? What do the results say? The results say you ain't shit. You a bum. You an incel. That's what they would tell. That's what they would tell this guy. You're an incel. You're nasty. You're sloppy. You're fat. You're obese. You're out of shape. You're overweight. You eat junk. A whole lot of junk food. I can only tell what the inside of your body looks like because of the way that you eat. So what you're not gonna do is sit here and try to gaslight me. So yes, regardless of how you feel in your head, the reality is you're not, because of the decisions that you made. Now you can make up for those decisions. You can improve yourself from those decisions, because yes, it does, while it doesn't define you, it still is part of your history. And so you have to tag that on to the decision that you have made that has created you to who you are today.
That's how I feel. My personal opinion.
If one of the ladies had to respond to Yana's commentary just now, what should you say?
I'm just confused.
Yeah, to me, it sounds like a discussion of one's ego and their worth being tied together. Like, I tie my ego to what my self-worth is, kind of, to me. Like, I feel like I'm a little bit confused on it, because when I hear the question in the statement, my answer wouldn't change. I feel more, my body is more valuable now.
I asked you, what would you say to her based on what her commentary just now?
I would just say it sounds like ego over worth.
Yeah, baby, that's what we are, and it's a backyard anthem. Stop it, throw it out.
Like, break it down.
The high that you get off of doing whatever you do that supports and inflates your ego, but it doesn't necessarily support your worth. Like how she said that, possibly laying down with the individual, and like in the moment you're like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. But then I would think, okay, but why did you do it in the first place? Did you do it because of your ego, to boost your ego, to see if you could maybe lay down or be with this individual? Did you do it to see if you could attempt it? I guess I'm a little
confused. More like a self-love thing. That okay. I mean, that ties into like.
Yeah. All right, let me interject real quick. Alex, maybe you shouldn't have.
But that can't be self-love though. How can that be self-love if you're making, if you know and are conscious of the decision that you're making, and you know that the decision that you're making is bad, but yet you still decide to make that same decision? How is that self-love? Make that make sense to me.
Stepped up to answer the question.
I mean, I think it's just the opposite of what Alex was saying. I think men are good at selling you a dream, or just looking real edible, or just saying the right things. They're in the right place, right time, and then you give in. Then you're like, hold up, nah. And then you get them up out of there. I've done that. I think now though, Yana, you're still in your 20s, still kind of in your prime, like no kids. I would say, yeah,
that's good.
Treat it like it's supposed to be treated.
But what do you, if you were her coach, what would you tell her If she's saying in the middle of an act, you regret the person, place, time, act, but I'm still the shit. But the person has no value, and then this process has been duplicated. Are you gonna then say you got time?
Yeah, she still has time, and it's.
Where's the
it's
correction?
good
Is
that-
what I'm asking.
Well, it's good that you came to the realization, but that's a little late. But you know now what to do moving forward. Don't even entertain it.
Damn. What about when you? What about? But sis, did you hold her accountable by saying the man talked her out her drawers?
Nope.
Well, she knows he did, and that's how he got.
I didn't say that anybody talked me out of my drawers.
See?
Nothing like
See?
that. I laid down. I did the act. I'm saying it was. That's why I just said, why couldn't you just leave me alone? Why couldn't you just leave me in my confusion statement and like, cool?
So wait,
that's a key point. I'm glad Yana said that. Thank you, Yana. Because this is something that I believe a lot of women want to do. They want to live in their own delusions. They know in their fucking head, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, they know that decisions that they make will affect them, but they live on this hope. They don't live on the probability of something happening. They live on the possibility and hope that even though I decided to make these bad decisions while I'm young, vibrant, free, and I'm able to move around, I get all this attention from these different men, I can make these bad decisions, but on the back end, I'm still going to be able to get the type of man that I actually want. But then when they get to that certain point, they realize, damn, I fucked up. So now they have to live in this delusion in their mind. They got to live in this delusion. I'm still her. I'm still the bad bee. You only wish to have a chick like me. I'm better than the next chick. I'm that bitch. All these different things. And it's a delusion in their head that they do not want. They don't want to see the reality. They want to live in a delusion. They want to live in a delusion. So that's why they demonize men when they say, listen, I'm not dating no 3 or 4. I'm not dating no chick who got kids. I'm not gonna do all that. I'm not gonna go the extra mile for you when you ain't reciprocating that energy. That's why they have all this shaming language. When men start to have standards, that's when women start to have shaming language. Oh, you must be gay, or you must be insecure about yourself because you telling me I can't go out in the streets and do whatever. Like, nah, shorty. Nope, you're not finna gaslight me. That's what we're not about to do. You living in your delusion, and I'm not finna feed into it. Not happening. So I'm gonna give you the real.
Not say anything? Did he just show up and then it was just like make eye contact?
No, it was. Now I have to think about a specific time where I knew I regretted things. It's like I deal with a lot of like at a point in time I lacked a lot of self-love, and even now I still mess with that. So it was more so like I don't love myself enough to be like, I don't even want to do this, yo. Like, I'm just here to be like supportive kind. Like, I'm just here. Like, I know I don't want to be here. I know this isn't something I should be doing. But it's like I didn't love myself enough to be like, just don't be there type deal. But the question was, how do I value my body? Like, what is my body worth to me? That was your question to me originally. That's what my question was.
But
Does
it
that
can be
make sense?
Here's my thing. I'm having a hard time understanding how it's invaluable, but yet in the middle of it, when you don't even consent anymore, you'll lay there to please another person. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what that was.
I know.
Never agreed with it or anything like that. Just say that's what that was.
No, I understand, but just don't ever do it, because at any point when you don't want it to happen anymore, it's not consensual. That's it, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I'm sick of y'all leaving shit at that. When Yana actually, so here's the thing, Yana actually, she, even though she be wild and she women.
So are you saying that because she don't want to do it? Or hold up. For anybody who sees this in the comments, or whoever sees it in the comments, please enlighten me on what she's saying. Is Coach Tay saying that if she no longer feels as if she wants to do it, is she leaning towards or saying that it could potentially be something that could get that other person harmed, like jail time, like great? Is that what you're alluding to? Listen, I'm not gonna say that's what you're saying, But I need you to clarify that for me. Help me to understand that. Because if that's what you're trying to tell me right now, no. I'm going to disagree with you right now. That's a no. We're not doing that.
Mills, she listens though. I've been knowing her for a decent amount of time. And she got like a big heart, big energy, but that self-esteem part is what she's been progressing on.
So what else?
Go ahead.
So a while back, when you asked the question, I was gonna say the same thing I said, but clarify more upon it. But you stopped me. What I was gonna say was it's kind of like the Yana thing. Like now, where I'm at, and I said youth. When I say youth is wasted on the young, is what they say. And I wish I knew then what I know now, because a lot of the decisions I made back then, I would not have made, and I wouldn't have to be even more hyper vigilant and or have to repair some damage that was done when I was younger. And the whole point of what I'm hearing, Yana, and I think Kim just said it too, is listen to your intuition, and when you don't want to be there, and don't play a supporting role in anybody's story. And I can resonate. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, because one thing we didn't do was address the situation. We talking about what? Well, you said go ahead, so be quiet for a second. So we didn't address the situation because that's real.
I like that. See, that's what men should do. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to yell. He didn't have to scream. He said, listen, bro, you said go ahead, so be quiet for a second. Sit back. You don't need to say nothing. Let me cook. I like that.
But we talking about how, if y'all, listen, this might not be for everybody, this conversation. I get it. So how have we valued our bodies? Sis kept it real when she unmuted. We haven't done a good job because she's talking about past, present, and future, and you got to weigh it all. Because we had this conversation a lot. So I'm trying to understand it. Like, how did we really value ourselves?
That's the crazy part. I was literally going into that, but you cut me off when I'm saying I was trying to talk to her and just really have a heart-to-heart with her right now. But you cut it off again.
Well, because I want to hear some accountability before I hear the coaching.
Facts.
But how much accountability is that? Because I was accountable. I feel like I don't need anybody to hold me accountable. I hold myself accountable by saying what I said.
Right. And she felt that she shouldn't have, that she wouldn't want to do it.
In that moment, I was holding myself accountable for the dumbass actions that I was going through with. Everybody here is just like kind of just being nice about it. Basically, you was dumb.
Well, that's not, you weren't necessarily holding yourself accountable. What you was doing is giving yourself a pass. You were giving yourself a pass, and you were trying to give yourself an excuse why you still made the decision that you made. Holding yourself accountable, just sitting there saying, listen, I fucked up. That's on me. End of story. I shouldn't have fucked this dude. That's me. That's my whole thing. And be quiet. The old context shit about I know who I am. Nope. I fucked up. That's on me. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. That's where the accountability comes in. We don't need all the extra. We don't need all the extra mushu shit. We don't need that. Just give me what we came here for. Give me the accountability, and let's move the fuck on so we can have a real conversation. Once you hold, it's just like anything else, y'all. It's just like anything else. First is admitting what the fuck is wrong. Hey, my name is John Doe, and I have a drug problem. Bet. Accountability. I have a drug problem. It's hard for me to get over that shit. I don't know what it is, but I have a drug problem. Boom. Now that we understand that you are accepting the fact that you do have that problem, you're acknowledging and letting everybody know that you do have a problem. Now we can start moving forward, because now you're making a conscious decision. So you know what? I'm going to stop playing in this delusion as if everybody else the problem. I'm the fucking problem. Now we can start moving forward and progressing. That's how we do that.
Shit, but being nice about it. They're all holding me accountable. No one said anything because everyone held me accountable by all their looks.
But Yana, but they didn't say shit though.
Exactly.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's tourmaline.
You don't have to. What's understood doesn't have to be explained.
No. It ain't no what's understood. It's not that. No, because a lot of things can get lost in translation. They could be making faces for a different reason, for something that you may have said earlier. It don't matter. No, something needs to be said. It's just like if me and my homeboys, right? If we kicking it and he do some fuck shit, one of my homies do some crazy shit or some fuck shit, I don't just sit there just make a face. No, you call the shit like, hey fam, that shit that you did right there, that was bullshit. That was fucked up. Nah, bro, we don't tolerate that. That's holding them accountable. Like, nah, bro, you know what you did wrong. You fucked up. You need to fix that shit. Go take care of your fucking business. Do what it is that you got to do. That's holding people accountable. Letting them know right then and there, letting them know the situation, painting that picture for them. Like, listen, bro, this is what happened. This was the situation. This is what you did. This is what you said. And this was the reaction because of the things that you did and said. And you were 100% wrong. You know what? My bad. I apologize, bro. Appreciate you telling me that. I didn't know. I thought at that time that what I was doing was the right thing, but apparently it wasn't the right thing. I apologize. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Boom. That's how it gets solved. Not the assuming, well, they all made faces, so that's holding me accountable. No, it's not. Because nobody's saying anything. That's just like if you're doing some stupid shit out there. That's just like if you're doing some crazy shit that everybody knows is wrong, but they just look at you like, they ain't saying nothing though. They're not telling you to stop. They're not coming over there to remove you from the situation. They're just looking at you. That's not holding people accountable.
So here's the other thing,
now
right,
we're
Yana?
going so deep into it, you know, I
Well,
kind of wish I didn't say it. You know
It's
what I'm
okay
saying?
though. Here's one thing you said.
I done it.
Here's the one thing that you said though, that the accountability wasn't there in the moment, because you said while it was happening, I was still the shit.
Okay, can I retract that statement? And once I said it, I felt bad about saying it. Not that I'm the shit. It was like I'm still Ayana. Me being with this bum ass nigga or whoever it might be, I'm still Ayana. Like, and Ayana is that nigga. Like, hands down, that nigga. This bum ass nigga here does not determine I'm less than because you don't got car, don't got this, don't got that. You're not determining who I am in this moment.
Well, but you are. That's kind of a reflection of who you are and the type of men that you choose. You chose that nigga. So that speaks about you as well. You chose this nigga. You know who this dude is, and you still decided to lay with him. So that says something about you too. Come on, man. That's not holding yourself accountable. In that situation, like, you know what, man, I knew what this type of dude was, but I still decided to choose him. And that because I decided to choose him, I understand that could be a small reflection on me and the type of men that I attract. So I understand now that I need to move different.
Because there are a lot of females who out there, like even people who get raped and stuff, you know, like if I was a rape victim, not victim, but like it happens. But if I were to let that determine the rest of my life, I probably wouldn't have never met you because I'd probably be scared of men. You know how many men I'm around now? I'm the only woman in my shop. So if anything, I feel like that helped me in life. Not helped me, but like it played a part. A man touched me as a child and I couldn't do nothing about it. Yeah. Now I work with men and I carry men, but I know how to talk to a man, like on man time stuff. But like I know how to address a man and make myself be seen and heard.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Hey, bro. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Am I out of pocket? Do y'all think that there was something that could potentially, could there have been more talked about in this situation in regards to this video? Do you think that she was holding herself accountable? Or do you think that she was just kind of dodging it? What do y'all think? Let me know, man.